Okay.
Okay, so we are group 3. We're going to be talking about stress and time management today. Just real quick, how many people are just stressed out, like to the max? I know I'm stressed out. I think it's ridiculous to say that there's nobody that's not stressed out, or anybody that's not stressed out. So we're going to do a quick exercise. It's a meditation exercise, so you guys can feel free to get in a comfortable position. You can move around and get out of your chairs. You don't have to stay in the circle. It's going to take about 11 minutes, and then we're going to come back together and talk about it. We're going to do a meditation exercise, so if you guys just get a comfortable position. You don't have to sit in the chairs. You can sit on the floor as well. Haley, do you mind?
Oh,
Yeah. Can we turn off the lights? Okay. Go ahead.
This This meditation will focus on bringing you serenity and stress relief. Stress is not always a negative thing. We use it to take action and to achieve goals. But when stress becomes a part of your life, it can become exhausting and lead to problems. Use this time to drift away from all your causes of stress. Our videos are made with genuine care, and we would like you to imagine that we are with you, alleviating the burden. To begin, lie down on a bed or a sofa. Move your arms and legs a little way apart from your body. Close your eyes. Focus now on your breathing. Breathe in through your nose to the count of 2. And exhale to the count of 4 until you begin to feel more relaxed. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to tense up your muscles. If you are unable to do this, don't worry. Just continue to breathe in for the count of 2 and breathe out for the count of 4 while I talk through the tensing up exercise. Now, if you are able to do so, try to tense up all the muscles in your body, from your feet to your neck. Hold the tension as tight as is comfortable. In a few seconds, I will say the word relax. When I do, allow your whole body to suddenly go limp. Hold the tension for a few more seconds. Are you ready? And relax. Let your entire body go limp and loose. Roll your arms and legs from side to side a few times, and then just let them be. Take another deep breath, imagining the air is filling your stomach. Allow your stomach to rise and fill with pure, refreshing air. Hold the air inside for a moment and then release slowly in a long exhale. Let's do this one more time. Taking another deep breath and imagining the air is filling your stomach. Hold it for a few seconds and exhale slowly in a long, controlled breath. Notice how much more relaxed you are now feeling as you allow your mind and body the opportunity to experience this quality time out. Now, I want you to imagine a cushion of energy beginning to form under the length of your body, and your body rising on this support. Feel a cloud form under your body, white, softer than blue snow, cushioning every limb, every muscle. A beautiful blue sky is above you, casting itself into infinity. Feel the cloud rise, and as it does so, imagine you are moving away from anything that causes you stress. You are floating away from it all, from any agitation, fear, or pain. On this cloud, you are completely free. You can turn on it as if it were a bed and look down on the world below. You can unsee even a shadow of your worries. The land opens. A crumpled, many-coloured quilt of meadows, farmland, the glinting ribbon of rivers, little lanes, a scatter of houses. The blue eyes of lakes. Forests like great blooms, following the dip and rise of hills and valleys. The breathing of the sea at the edges of the world. The air swamps you along, but you are perfectly warm, relaxed, and secure. You can watch a flock of birds flying below in a great V shape. The sun soaks into your skin. There is a great silence up here as you travel with the whisper of the wind, and in that silence there is a vast sense of peace. The freedom that comes with the release of all that troubles you. Take as long as you like to explore the skies, to look down at the changing landscape below you. Seeing places, perhaps, that you have always wanted to visit, and now see from above. When you are ready, begin to drift down slowly. There is no hurry. Feel your slow and steady breathing as the cloud carries you gently back to your home, to where your body lies in relaxation. Feel again the weight of your body. Let your mind remain still before you take a few slow, deep breaths, and in your own time, when you are ready, open your eyes, knowing that you are welcome to return to the cloud and leave the world behind you whenever you wish.
So how did that help anybody and take away some of the stress? How did that make you guys feel? Anything? What do you guys think about it? So meditation, some people think that it's like a part of like Buddhism or something, but sometimes it can be used to, obviously, as you see, to help you relieve your stress and take your worries off of things. Our goal is to present some material on the nature and causes and effects of stress, as well as reactions to stress, since there are a variety of methods you can use to manage stress and prevent negative consequences. We also plan to cover the principles on time management and like time-saver tips and suggestions for overcoming stress. So here's some real quick statistics over stress. So the percent of people who regularly experience physical symptoms caused by stress is 77%. The percent of people who regularly experience psychological symptoms caused by stress is 73%. 33% of people feel that they are living with extreme stress. 48% of people feel that their stress has increased over the past 5 years. 76% of people cited that money and work as the leading cause of their stress, and 48% reported lying awake at night due to stress. And here are some of the stress impact statistics. 48% of people say that stress has a negative impact on their personal and professional life. 31% of employed adults who say that they have difficulty managing work and family responsibilities. 35% of people cited jobs as interfering with their family or personal time as a significant source of stress. 54% of people said that stress has caused them to fight with people close to them. And here's an interesting one. Annual cost to employers and stress-related and health care missed work, $300 billion. That's a lot of money. 33% of people say that they are always or often under stress at work. So some of the physical symptoms that are caused by stress is fatigue, headache, an upset stomach, muscle tension, change in appetite, teeth grinding, change in sex drive, feeling dizzy. So as you can see, stress isn't going to leave us, once we graduate college. It's always going to be with us wherever we go and whatever we deal with in life. So it's important to know how to manage it. So stress is specifically defined as the physiological and emotional reaction to stressors. A stressor is a demand or situation that messes up your equilibrium. So it just messes up your normal schedule. So, is there a marker here? Okay. So Hans Slide, a Hungarian endocrinologist, and he's considered one of the foremost authorities on stress, founded the general adaptation model. I'll do it. So the general adaptation model, it kind of looks like a bell curve, like that. So it consists of 3 stages. The first stage is the alarm stage, which is when you are presented with the stress and your body starts to release certain hormones like adrenaline and I think it would be epinephrine. Am I right? Person Adrian? Would it be adrenaline and epinephrine? Okay. So then this is when the body recognizes the stressor and responds by the fight or flight response. And the hypothalamus sends a message to the pituitary gland, which releases its hormones, which then trigger the adrenal glands to release adrenaline, resulting in increased heartbeat and breathing, increased coagulation of blood, which minimizes potential loss in case of injury, increased blood pressure, diversion of blood from the skin to the brain, the heart, and contracting muscles, and a rise in serum cholesterol and blood fat, decreased mobility of gastrointestinal tract, and dilated pupils. So a lot of this is good for if you're in like a bad situation, if you have to run from somebody. But as students, when we get stressed out, it's not always good for us just to run from our situations. So that's the alarm phase. And the second phase is the reaction phase. And that's like in this general region, the second part of the bell curve. And in this phase, it's when your body attempts to go back to equilibrium and repair any damage that's caused by the stress. And then lastly, it's the exhaustion phase. And it's the last part of the curve. And it's when, you've been running at the alarm phase for so long that your body's just running out of energy and you're running on fumes basically. And this is when you're just extremely exhausted. So, let's see. And next, Libby is going to, Kelsey's going to be presenting.
Okay, I'm going to be talking about the stressors, which, everybody knows basically those are like components or factors that build up to stress working up in your life and all. And in the stressors, they have 2 components, which can be an external factor, which is like an experience that you went through, an event that happened, and it was like, traumatizing in some type of way. And then the internal factor is like a self-talk that we give ourselves, like if we know we're about to go through something that, we're worried about, and we talk ourselves, try to talk ourselves through it, how we feel like it's going to happen, and it just builds up more and more stress and anxiety. And if you look on your outline, I have a little diagram thing that just shows like the stressors, like I said, is the event or experience of self-talk, and then which leads to your stress, and out of those you get like an emotional reaction or a physiological reaction. In the book it gives a little example of this lady named Sharon. She got asked out on a date by somebody who she's been wanting to go out on a date with for a really long time, And then like most girls do, they worry about it. And like, well, is he gonna like me? I'm not gonna have to meet his friends. I'm not really good at carrying out conversations, so he's gonna think I'm boring. And she that gives herself all the self-talk, and she builds up the anxiety and worry about it. And then more or less, she's stressed about the date in general. She makes the problem bigger than what it originally is. And the next it moves on to optimal levels of stress, which as the book basically says, like we need a healthy level of optimal stress, because with whatever situation that we're going through, it's going to require some type of level of stress, whether if it's like a low one, medium, high. Like if you're at a low level of stress, then you're going to be less likely to be engaged in it. You're not going to be as concentrated. You're just going to be laid back, loose, relaxed. Just not really too worried about it. If you're at like the right amount of level of stress, then you got your adrenaline's rushing a little bit. You're just engaged in it like at an appropriate amount. And then like as Madison just said, like your high level of stress is going to be for when like an emergency comes up. Like you got to take off running, you got to save your life, or you got to lift something heavy. I don't know if anybody's ever experienced that before, but I've experienced that over spring break. It's amazing what your adrenaline does when it's at its maximum point. You can break something without even meaning to. And then long-term distress. Distress is known as the harmful stress, because the book talks about the more and more stress that you have, and the more negative thoughts that you keep going in your mind, that weakens your immune system. So which is why it's called known as a harmful. The stress is harmful, and then the more positive thoughts that you keep about a situation, that keeps your immune system at the right level, the healthy level. And long-term distress just comes up like if you lose a family member or a significant other, the bad feelings and negative thoughts that you have about it, that just prolong over time. You continuously think about the bad stuff, like long-term with the stress. Self-explanatory. And then turn it over to Libby. No, sorry.
Okay, I'm going to be talking about a term called burnout. Who has ever felt burnt out about something no reason? What are some things that you felt burnt out with?
Soccer.
School.
Anything else? Okay, so I think we've all experienced being burnt out. The book describes burnout as involving loss of concern for the person that one is working with. But it can also apply to many things. Whatever you're involved in, you can just be emotionally exhausted with whatever you've been doing. It can even cause physical exhaustion and can lead to illness. Burnout in the work field is basically when the person working with their client just has no positive feelings for their client. They pretty much become very cynical of their client. They think that everything that's happened to their client is because the client deserves it. So it becomes a problem because then the client's not getting helped efficiently, and it can also make the person helping the client either lead to quitting their job or having some kind of drug or alcohol abuse. So like you guys can see, it can relate to everything though. It can relate to your relationships and your family and your friends. It can relate in work. You can relate it to work. You can relate to sports. And now I'll turn it over to Libby to talk about the causes of burnout.
So I'm going to talk about some causes and why people experience burnout, and then some ways to manage stress to avoid burnout. So burnout is basically a buildup of stress. So if you feel stressed for a long period of time, like if you don't learn to manage that, then you experience a burnout. And you guys have all, I'm sure, experienced that, and you said soccer and school and things like that and work. And some of the things that that cause burnout are working too much. So if you're working too much and not taking time to relax, then you can experience burnout. Too much paperwork at work, or even taxes, things like that. So these are things that not only people who in the working field or as helping professionals experience, but everyone. And then not enough money. So if you're suffering financially and that's causing a lot of stress, then you could experience a burnout from that. And also at a job, if you're not trained well, and so you're always like trying to catch up, or you feel like you're not getting it and you're not doing a good job, that can also cause a lot of stress, resulting in burnout. And then there's a lot of other things that cause, it just depends on who you are and what you're doing. Some things that the helping professional, some reasons why they experience burnout is they have too many clients. So if they have too many clients and they don't feel like they have enough time to actually put the effort and the thought that they want to into their clients, and they can experience a burnout. And then some ways that they suggest avoiding this for the helping professional is taking a break. And that can include like a literal like 15-minute break, but some practices don't have enough helpers or enough therapists to allow this, and so they suggest like finding something that doesn't take a lot of mental power, and so it's kind of a mental break, even though it's not actually like a 15-minute break. So, and also some clients are more stressful than others. They just have more stress. For example, clients who suffer from depression can be very mentally draining, and so they can cause more stress and result in burnout sooner if you deal with clients who are depressed. And so it's really important to manage the stress, and that's what I'm going to talk about now. So one of the ways to manage stress is goal setting and time management. So just like figure out what you want. And they talk about this even, we read this in our textbooks all the time. We're setting goals, like find out where you want to come with your client, and then each day set up mini goals to accomplish that. And then time management, so you know what you're going to do, so you're not just like going there and winging it, and then you're prepared for something to go wrong. And relaxation, meditation like we did today is really good for dealing with stress, and just like taking deep breaths during the day, and just kind of relaxing. And exercise is also really important. If you're physically fit, then your body is more prepared to deal with stress, and so that's really important. And also taking care of your body, yourself, like eating healthy, is also really important. It better prepares your body to deal with that. And talking to others, get a community that you can talk about your problems, and so you can kind of get that out of yourself, so you're not holding it in, and it's not like bottling you. You can get it out and talk through it rationally. And then positive thinking, just think more positively. I know that there's a lot of things that go wrong in life, and you have to deal with those, but just kind of see it more as a growing you instead of bringing you down. And then Luke 14 talks about this. It's Jesus is talking to his disciples about what it takes to be a follower. And Luke 14:28 says, or 14:28 says, suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Will he first sit down and estimate the cost and see if he has enough money to complete it? For he lays down the foundation to complete it. For if he lays down the foundation and is not able to finish it, everyone will ridicule him. So this is basically the idea of, again, like time management and figuring out what you can accomplish. And it's okay to say no sometimes, and it's okay to say, you know what, I can't take this client. Like, I don't think that I have the capabilities, and then maybe come to the point where you can do that in the future. But it's okay to realize your limits and to avoid stress. And because if you're stressful, then you're bringing that on your client and also your friends and family. And so yeah, I would just encourage you to just to continue to like I said, like take some time to do some meditation or figure out a schedule to where you are able to manage your stress, and so you don't have to. So your life is, you're more healthy and happier. And so I have some to encourage you guys to be healthier. I have brought some bananas and fruit, and I'm going to ask some questions, and so you have the opportunity to better your life. So my first question is, are any of you dealing with your stress, or have you noticed that you have a lot of stress, and how are you dealing with that?
Sometimes I take a break and go on a 30-minute walk run.
Okay, cool. Do you want an orange, apple, or?
Orange. Please.
Anyone else?
She's a poet.
Want to share something that they're like stresses, or this is even the time that you can tell people, release it.
I talk about it with the girls who I live with, because I've realized my way of dealing with stress is talking about it instead of pulling it in. So it kind of releases a lot. It's kind of like venting, but I also need to monitor how much I do that because I don't want to put it on them. So I also pray about it as well. But I'm okay with that one too.
Okay.
Thanks. I like food, but you know.
I want to eat it. All right. Well, I guess we're going to turn it over to Kimberly.
I'm going to sit down for this one. I'm going to be talking about laws of attraction. Basically, it deals with the person's thoughts, both conscious and unconscious. It dictates the reality of your life. And it's like, if you want something in life and you truly believe you want it, it's possible you'll get what you want. And for example, it's like you're in a relationship and your past relationships they were bad, and you're starting over with with a girl or guy. And in your past, you've been hurt over and over, and you worried that in this new one, the same things were going to happen. But if you dwell on it and worry, it'll lead to an unhappy relationship. Starting over, being positive, there's always hope, and putting a lot of faith in it too will have a positive outcome, and everything will be all right in the new relationship. Basically, laws of attraction basically means that it deals with the body, mind, and soul. Things we want in life are our desire to accomplish, and always having a positive attitude will lead and let God lead our way in our journey to where we want. Also, laws of attraction sends out good and bad vibes. Sometimes we have bad thoughts in general, like the day before, yesterday, I was with my friends, and they were playing ball, and I wanted to play, but I knew I couldn't because I don't think you're allowed to do that when you're at a school like this. And but I know they were down because they were getting mad because they were getting beat. But my positive attitude, it made them happy. They were okay with what happened, but they said, "We're really glad that you came because we know when we're pissed off, you bring out the happiness in us," in which I guess that's a good thing. And then also, for example, it's in order for a salesperson to be successful, they need to be sending out good vibes so that the customer will want to conserve. And it also applies with other professionals like physicians, attorneys, psychologists, and counselors and teachers, and so on. And with this, the Bible verse I found It says, ask and it will be given to you, seek and you will find it, knock and the door will be open to you. And that's Matthew 7:7. It means like in life, if you want something, set like daily goals or future goals for yourself. Throughout it all, it's going to be hard and you want to give up, but sometimes through that hard road, it'll pay off. And with God by your side, it's possible. You can achieve it. And then the next thing I'm going to be talking about is changing or adapting to distressing events. There are many numbers of distressing events like death in the family, friend, breakups, being fired from a job, have an unfulfilling job, failing school courses, or arguments. Most distressing events can be improved by confronting them head on, taking action or change. Say you get an argument and you're mad and you just want to be left alone and you don't know how to confront about the situation. You really need to think about it. But you know it's always right to confront the other person and work it out, try to improve the situation. And if it doesn't work out, at least you tried. Or if you or at a job, if you get dismissed or fired and you don't know why, it's always good to confront the boss about why you were fired or were dismissed, so you know when, in the future when you're looking for another job, you know what to do and what not to do. And sometimes you just have to accept things that some things can't be changed, and you just have to learn from the mistakes or the argument and just relax, be calm, and go on with life. And then the next thing I'm going to be talking about is personal pleasures. Personal pleasures relieve stress. It provides a change of pace. It's enjoyable. It makes us feel good. And in reality, it's like personal therapy does. Personal pleasures deals with relieving from stressful times in life. And research has found that